It's been called a great allegory of life and death. It may have been inspired by his beloved wife Virginia showing the telltale signs of tuberculosis the same year it was written. In 1842, Edgar Allan Poe's The Masque of the Red Death was published. It's a terrifying horror story that inspired so many others. You may find it familiar. Warning, spoilers ahead.
Let's dig into this.
Warning, viewer discretion advised.
The first Gothic novel was Horace Walpole's The Castle of Otranto, published in 1764, and it set the pattern of spooky castle stories that's still popular today. The Masque of the Red Death is a masterpiece of the genre.
Main character Prince Prospero, called a happy and dauntless man in the story, takes refuge in his abbey with 1,000 other nobles, hiding from a deadly plague ravaging the land. Called the Red Death, its victims suffered sharp pains, dizziness, and profuse bleeding from the pores before dying within 30 minutes. Prospero and his fellow nobles seem quite sure they can hide from the disease behind the walls of his luxurious property, but weld the doors shut and keep themselves safe from others entering and bringing the disease with them.
After months pass without incident, Prospero decides to throw a masquerade ball to entertain his guests. There is an orchestra with grand music. Prince Prospero has provided costumes of madman fashions, and the 7 rooms devoted to the ball are decorated with the bizarre, the beautiful, the wanton, and the terrible.
These rooms of the abbey are all decorated in a specific color, and each room has a brazier throwing bright light from the hallway through stained glass windows, bathing the entire room in the chosen color. One room is blue, one purple, one green, one orange, one white, and one violet.
The exception to the pattern is the last room, draped and decorated in black, but the stained glass window for this room is deep scarlet, the color of blood. Few of the guests dare to enter this room during the evening, and none will enter it after the sunset. In the room, a large ebony clock chimes as every hour passes, and the entire party, conversations, music, all activity, stop, only to start again after the last chime ends.
As midnight chimes, an eerie guest slowly makes his way through the rooms. His costume is a dark robe, spattered with what looks like blood. Prospero is insulted, thinking a guest is mocking the group's fear of the disease. He demands to know the identity of the figure.
All guests are seized with terror, and no one dares approach the figure as he slowly makes his way from room to room. Prospero bursts in with a raised dagger and gets close before the figure spins around to face him, at which point Prospero cries out, drops the dagger, and dies.
The guests are shocked from their trance and fall upon the figure, only to find nothing but a corpse-like mask with the robes. He is the Red Death, and the revelers die one by one in the colorful rooms and halls inside the luxurious castle where they thought they were safe.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to get the theme of Poe's story, but it's been dissected and analyzed for the past 180 plus years. Many people believe the 7 rooms in the story represent the 7 stages of man, a concept Shakespeare wrote about in his play As You Like It, from the blue room as birth through the stages of youth, adolescence, adulthood, old age, approaching death, and death itself. The use of the clock, of course, as the passage of time, both in the evening of the masked ball and in life, is obvious, and the story is often cited as an allegory of man's futile attempts to win over death.
But Poe hated didacticism in writing, the belief that things always need to both entertain and instruct, which does not mean he didn't use it, but it probably wasn't a conscious decision. Sometimes a story can just be a story, and Poe had plenty of fear and sickness and loss from his own life to draw from.
He had married his first cousin, Virginia Elizabeth Clem, in 1836. Poe was 26 years old, and Virginia was half his age, just 13, although her age was listed as 21 on their marriage license. She was one of the great loves of his life, and the pair idolized each other. Virginia was already sick with tuberculosis when The Masque of the Red Death was published in 1842. It had also killed Poe's mother and foster mother, and probably his brother as well.
Graham's magazine first published The Masque of the Red Death, and Poe was paid around $400 in today's money for the story. He happened to be the co-editor of the magazine at the time. The story was a modest success and was very well received by reviewers at the time, which was extremely important to Poe. Unfortunately, while his reputation and career grew, his beloved wife's illness progressed and Poe began drinking heavily. Virginia died in 1847.
Poe's most famous poem, The Raven, was published on January 29, 1845 in the Evening Mirror, and finally he had a hit. Almost instantly a household name, it gave him the recognition and accolades he craved and felt he deserved. While The Raven is considered Poe's masterpiece by many, The Masque of the Red Death, with its macabre setting and slow burn of growing fear, is also a Gothic masterpiece.
Thanks for watching,
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, here's another DragonDen video you might like.
And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button.
And you can hit the notification bell if you'd like to know when our videos come out.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.